Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Very exciting day here. It's 2026. The maple season's about to kick off. Very fun. It's like Christmas as a kid. It really is. Anyways, this is going to be a little 3-part mini series of last year's maple production here. It's the whole process from start to finish. Very labor intensive, yet fun, but very rewarding. The end result's amazing. There's nothing else going on this time of year, so what better way to utilize your time? Anyways, I'll show you which 3 maple species here that I tapped, so stick around. Think you'll enjoy this one. Hello everybody, welcome. Today's episode is very special. It is the start of maple season. I missed out last year. It was just a chaotic year, and I really missed it. But anyways, let's get started. I'm going to show you, I'm going to make a little list for you, and it'll kind of break down today's episode. Today's going to be the day. It's warmed up a little bit. It's in the 40s, late February. We're going to get this maple season going. I missed out last year. The weather wasn't all that great here in Northeast Ohio. Kind of a late season last year, but it's just right, I think, right now. So I look forward to getting out here. I'll show you what I got. So I'm going to actually just go around, drill the holes, and I'll put the buckets up later. It's just easier when you're, walking around in a foot of snow. There's plenty of snow on the ground still, and it's slippery, and it's windy. But here's some sticks. I like to use these to clean holes out. Here's a wooden mallet for the spiles. Here's an old-fashioned drill with a 5/16 inch bit on there, and I put some tape on there for depth purposes. They typically don't go over 2 inches deep. Here's my spiles, and this is a custom made bucket for collecting the sap, which actually has a lid that snaps on. So we'll get started here. Well, this is worse than I thought. It is just solid ice. It's hard to get through. This is sugar maple. Nice late winter day. So I actually tapped 2 different kind of maple trees. These are what they call field maples. First one I tapped was a sugar maple. So we have sugar maple, field maple, and red maple. So people like this syrup better than the all sugar maple syrup that I used to make. So alright, we'll start. This is actually a better example right here. See, this is what you want. You go waist high, line it up with the base, and drill away. use my stomach as sort of a support mechanism when I drill. This is actually, a lot easier than it looks. But, it's about that close to 2 inches in there we want. Alright, I don't think it's deep enough. These are younger trees too. I don't have the oldest trees around. I started tapping these ones about 10 years ago. Alright, let's get this twig in here. Clean out the hole. Alright, find a spile. Place her in there. Give it a few taps. We'll come back around and hang the buckets up here. This one's dripping. This is also where the sun's hitting it. So like I said, we have a lot of ice here, so it's gonna have to thaw out a little, I think, before it runs really well. And you want these temperatures up and down, above freezing, below freezing at night. That's ideal for this kind of hobby. Season pretty short, it's about a month here. So, I didn't quite drill these 2 inches either. Maybe 1.5 inches, maybe slightly more. But these marks around that are from previous years where we did the drilling. But so far it's trickling pretty good. Not all of them. This one here, slow going. I got quite a little bit of these the field maples, like I said, that run through here. Yeah, honestly, they grow like weeds. Back up that way is a sugar maple, that bigger tree. Alright, got the last 2 buckets to hang up. I'll show you how this is done. I said earlier I went around, did all these spiles first. So that one's starting to drip. Had to scramble around for some buckets. Alright, so these, I designed them, drilled a hole in the plastic, and just snap in like that, and then these lids snap right on. Typically, there we go. Alright, here's the last one. Look at and the lid. Alright. Not the best buckets or solution, but they were free. So sometimes you go with free and you suffer a little bit in the long run, but I've used these for years and it works for me. So everybody has their own way of doing things, and let me know in the comments what you guys are doing, or if you have any ideas or suggestions, let me know. We'll check back later in the week and start hopefully boiling. I'll collect some sap tomorrow, and I think we're going to do some boiling this weekend. I'm going to make some pancakes with that too. Some pancakes, sausage, just good old-fashioned fun to me. Nothing like good old-fashioned backyard fun. Nice little campfire, and what better thing to do this time of year? Can't think of anything better. All right, this is going to be my first time emptying the buckets. problem is it didn't get cold last night, so I quit running fairly soon. So not a whole lot in these trees after, one day now. Did have a huge melt. A lot of this ice and snow melted away, so nice to have this huge melt down. So there's really not a whole lot to get started boiling with, but I think it'll get cold again tonight, and I'm still going to plan on boiling this weekend. Well, I'm going to finish emptying these buckets here, and we'll see what we have. Alright, so now I'm splitting some firewood. I need some smaller pieces. I use these 2 logs as support here. Don't have to keep bending over as much. Nice dry seasoned firewood. Kept this in storage for 2 years, so it is really dry. Alright, now we're going to try to start the fire. Alright, so here's the sap, what little I have. Of course my lighter's out, it's just been a rough start. That's typical maple season. So I got a clean pan, I'm going to start putting the sap in these buckets. And normally I have these up on this whole unit on blocks, but like I said, you gotta, it's a constant battle this time of year with ice, snow, wind, cold weather. So I really need to get this boiling. Alright, so before I start that fire, I want to get some sap in here, the pan. Typically I strain this out before, but I've already lost an hour, but we'll strain later. So next I gotta get a fire going in here. I got small little twigs I found and pieces I split for kindling, and there's an actual fire starter I recently purchased. So put a little in there. Alright, let's see if I can get the clicker to start. Alright. This is kind of the unconventional way, but alright. This is how we're going to have to get it going today. See how that fire starter holds up? I'm just going to get it roaring here. Typically, you do it the hard way. It takes a good hour to get this fire up and roaring. Like I said, I've lost a little bit of time today. So, alright. We'll see if that does the trick. Alright, fire is going. Just putting more wood on there. So, as you can see, it's foaming, it's boiling, and this happens. There's defoamers and stuff they have for this. I don't like using that stuff, to be honest with you. I think it's really a waste of money. So what I have is an actual skimmer. and just shake it off. And periodically you gotta go through here and, you know, it strains all the foreign objects out as well. Be careful you don't burn yourself like you tend to do. I think I paid $20 or $30 for this years ago. Boiled down quite a bit in a few hours. I added a few small buckets of sap to it, but I think it's starting to slow down. It's approaching 60 degrees. So I gotta go get the rest of the sap, and probably we'll just boil that down and call it a day. It's getting dark. Well, this is getting low. I don't want this to boil over, so I gotta pay close attention. I've boiled many pans over in the past. It isn't fun cleaning it up, and it's actually more depressing because it's a waste. Alright, there we go. We have light. Now, this one's not working. Nope, just one's on. Well, one will have to do. This is all part of the fun. This is I spent a lot of my youth out in the backyard boiling away way deep into the night. So but it's always worth it. I might have about another hour here. We'll see how it goes. Getting so close. It's getting colder and colder out here.